Guys, big breaking news coming out. Very important update when it comes to Snap EBT. Chuck, the man that shut the gov for the 14th time, well, he urges direct talk with the US president as Shutdown standoff continues. Chuck and Hakeem both sent letters early this morning to the president stating we need to reopen the gov immediately. That is a slap to the face of the sleeping giant citizens. They are doing this right after the election. All right, the election is over. Let's reopen the gov and let's give everybody their EBT. I told you guys right after the election they were going to reopen it. Told you. Now, Donald is saying this stunt that the left has done caused the vote for the right. It's a game of chess. It's a corrupt game of chess. So now, all of a sudden, the man that shut the gov down for 14 times, now he wants to open it up. Yay! Might as well just keep it shut down. But again, the sad part is a lot of people went for the blue, knowing that the blue is the one that caused all this chaos and headache. All right, guys, before I start, for those of you that want to send us letters or prayer request, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida, 34691. Like I said, only a few people know what's really going on. And yesterday, again, I just, noticed that a great majority of the sleeping giant citizens have no idea what's going on in our sleeping giant country because they don't get involved in what's really going on, who is running our sleeping giant. They really don't care. Hey, as long as I get free stuff, that's all I care. That's what they want you to think. Don't worry about us. Here, just keep eating. Keep eating. We're going to take your sleeping giant away from you. Once again, Chucky on Wednesday declined to say whether a promised vote on extending Enhanced Affordable Care Act subsidies will be enough to secure the left's support for reopening the gov, as internal division persists over how to proceed. We must address the healthcare needs of the American people, Chuck told. Hold on, hold on, Chuck. Hold on, I gotta ask something here. Chuck forgot to ask something. American? Okay, that's true. And illegal, Chuck told the news. He forgot to add the illegal, but it's all right. I got his back. Urging the right to engage in serious negotiations. He backed Sanders' stance that a vote alone without concrete guarantees is insufficient to justify a stopgap funding deal. Now, Chuck reiterated his call for a direct meeting. Oh, now he wants to sit down and talk to Donald. All of a sudden, after what, a whole month? Well, a month and a week? Now, all of a sudden, you want to talk to the president? All that time, and again, guys, right after the election, now they want to reopen it. Alongside Hakeem to break the impasse, while some moderate left have shown interest in bipartisan proposal, Chuck emphasized that everyone in his caucus agrees the U.S. president must come to the table to resolve this crisis. So where were you, Chuck, when you were shutting down the gov? I mean, they were waiting for you to come to the round table to discuss. Now all of a sudden you want to come out and all of a sudden you just want to reopen the gov. You have this one coming out. Give me a second here. You have Thune disputes. The U.S. commander claimed that the shutdown drove GOP election losses. So you have Senator Majority Leader John pushed back Wednesday on Donald, assertion that the gov shutdown was a significant factor in the red loses during the Tuesday election. Speaking to the news, John acknowledged there may be some connection between the prolonged funding impasse and the result, but said, I think the election were going to be what they were going to be. You got to understand too, guys, is that these states has been red, has been blue for a very long time. And what Donald is doing with the ICE operation, a lot of these people are not liking it. A lot of people Donald believed that everybody is loving this ICE operation. A lot of those people in New York, they're not liking it. They're not going to go for Donald. They're not going to go for the red. They're going to be like, no, you guys are taking us away. And so, again, I don't think the blue cheated. I can't believe I'm saying that. I don't think they cheated. Again, all I'm saying is Donald decision with the ICE and National Guard being deployed. Some of these people don't like it. They just don't like it. Again, it's a possibility. A lot of these people regret going for Donald for 2024. It says here, as the shutdown enter its 36th day, now the longest in U.S. history, John emphasized the need to end the stallment. Nobody wins, he said. That's why we need to open up the gov. So we do have some more news. The U.S. commander presses GOP to end filibuster as shutdown fallout deepens. The U.S. commander intensified pressure on Senate right on Wednesday, warning that the party is losing the public messaging battle over the gov shutdown. In a private conversation following a breakfast meeting at the White House, the U.S. commander reportedly told lawmakers they were being taken out politically and urged them to eliminate the Senate filibuster to reopen the gov swiftly. Now, despite the U.S. commander assistance, that changing Senate rules is the fastest path forward, many of the right appeared unconvinced. In the atmosphere in the state dining room remained respectful, but resistance to the commander proposal lingered. Now, Donald continued discussions with several senators in the Oval Office. Still, Senate Majority Leader John later told reporters there are not the vote there, signaling that the filibuster remains intact for now. The shutdown has now entered its 36th day. 36, that's the biggest. Wow. Give me a second here, guys. I'm looking for some more updates here. Look at this news here. Look at this one. HUD warns shutdown threatens housing support for millions, and blames the left. Now, HUD Secretary Scott shared a statement with the news on Wednesday about the impact of the gov shutdown on critical housing programs, saying that the public housing authorities may soon run out of resources to support vulnerable Americans. For over 1 month, once again, the left has held our gov. You know what? I'm gonna skip that name there, guys. I truly apologize. Mr. Turner said, blaming that the left for the prolonged closure. And it's true. Chuck shut it down 14 times, and now all of a sudden, after the election, hey, I want to open it up. Can we do this again so I could, give you guys the vote? It's just mind-blowing. It's a slap to the face to millions of Sleeping Giant citizens. You don't do that, man. You don't do that. Again, there were federal workers. Flight delays and everything. They just play the Sleeping Giant citizens. It's like Mike Pence says, you can't play politics with people's lives. You can't do that. But again, what do you expect? These are the people that everybody loves. They just proven it. Again, they just proved that in New York. He emphasized that HUD is working to maintain essential services for more than 4 million families, but noted that delays and funding gaps are mounting. Key programs affected include halted FHA-backed healthcare loans, suspended reverse mortgage endorsement for seniors stalled lead hazard repairs, and frozen housing support for tribal communities. In New York alone, 159 public housing authorities serve over 407,000 households, many of which face reduced services and safety risk as the shutdown continues. All right, give me a second here, guys. Uh-oh, breaking news. Big breaking news. Look at this. You have the right say there was sue over California Proposition 50. This is a big breaking news here, guys. This is an urgent breaking news. California, the Red Party, says it is planning to file a lawsuit to block Proposition 50 after it passed with overwhelming support in the state on Tuesday. The proposition creates a new congressional map aimed at giving the left 5 more seats in the House. It was launched as a reaction to Texas' recent redistricting, which granted the GOP 5 new seats. However, the California Right Party claims that the Californian redistricting violates the 14th and the 15th Amendments. Oh, wow. The lawsuits filed by the Dillon Law Group on behalf of the state's GOP party, as well as a state assembly man and 18 voters. All right, so this is going to be a big news here, guys. I mean, it is a big news, and there's going to be a massive lawsuit going on here for this Proposition 50 that opened up 5 new seats. Now, I know Gavin, he was really happy about this one here. He gave a statement last night. I think it was 2 o'clock in the morning here in the East Coast. You guys know it's like 3-4 hours difference. But now the right say they will sue over the California Proposition 50. The Blue State election results show voters blame Donald for the shutdown. They did this at the very end, knowing that, again, the go out to vote. I mean, they did this at the same time, all this shutdown. I mean, it was just mind-blowing. But it's really sad because if people know about this gov stuff, Donald is not the one. It was Chuck that shut it down for the 14th time. And now all of a sudden he wants to reopen it right after the election. Right after they just fired, test launched an unarmed Minuteman 3. Alright, so we're going to skip a lot of this stuff here, guys. But, yeah, they blaming Donald. Donald, this is your fault. You can't keep your mouth shut, now we lost all these seats. Once again, guys, this is another breaking news that's coming out. Gov shutdown becomes the longest ever breaking first Donald first term. So Donald set the record, I think it was in 2019, 2018, I think. And now he set it again. But it's not his fault because he's an outsider. And he's going against those people that's been in power since 1970. All right, you guys know Joe? He's been there since 1970. All right, Nancy Pelosi and all these people, they've been in, man, this is why they are urging, they want a term limit. Because these people are older than dirt, all right? They've been around since the 70s. You know what's the 70s? I'm not saying 70s are old. 70s like what, in their 50s? I mean, almost in their 50. All right, let me just refresh the page. But this is where we at right now, guys. This is where we at. Breaking news. Breaking news. Donald urges the Blue to back clean funding bill at Miami. All right, so hopefully all this works out, because the most important thing is we need to get people back to work. I mean, those flight delays is no joke. And again, millions, they still want their benefits. Whoa, just give me a second here. Speaking at the America Business Forum in Miami, President Donald called on the left to support a clean short-term funding bill and the record-breaking Gov shutdown. Donald criticized Chucky and others. It's time for Chuck and the left to stop playing games with the people's life, Donald said. Now, the reason why they're blaming Donald is because Donald is commander. It's Donald's fault. It's Donald's fault. That goes to tell you that a lot of people just don't understand politics. Donald is, again, he's the president, but there's also others out there that steps in. The House, the Senate, again, Supreme Court and everything. Donald does not have 100% power, and he's no king. He can't be a king. If he was a king, there won't be no votes going on. There won't be, all this Gov shutdown going on. He argued that passing a clean funding bill similar to those approved dozens of times before would allow the Gov to reopen immediately. Donald also downplayed the potential political fallout, saying that the country is so strong now that reopening the Gov wouldn't hurt his administration. The shutdown has now entered 36th day. All right, so that's where we at right now, guys. So you have Chuck is sent a letter to the president. Please, let's open the Gov. I mean, a few days ago, he shut it down for the 14th time, and now he's begging Donald, let's have a meeting. Let's open this thing up. Yeah, right after the election, right? Shame, shame, shame. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Till next time later. Peace.